Hey guys, welcome back to Creative Plane Podcast. It is August the 13th. Hashtag RPGaDay 2017. Remember to make sure to hit all the social networks, the Instagram, the Twitter, the Facebook, the YouTube, all that good stuff, because that's where hashtag RPGaDay 2017 is going on, and there's videos everywhere out there.
Woohoo!
Yeah, Ron and Scott and, a bunch of the others are doing the videos, which is really fun. So, for August the 13th, describe a game experience that changed how you play.
Ooh,
That's a hard one.
That's extremely hard. Oh dear.
Want me to go first? And
Yeah, you go first.
Okay, I'm going to go with the first time I played Fate. Because if you ever get a chance to play the Fate system, you realize you're not playing I swing my sword on +2 to strength, and I'm trying to hit the MacGuffin, or I'm trying to use my insight skill with my +2 to wisdom. In Fate, when you play the game, you basically are using more of a narrative style as a player, where you're actually affecting the environment as a co-narrator with the GM. So you could do I'm going to use my gun skill to actually put the creature off balance, creating the shaken or some other aspect on the creature. So you're actually giving a aspect to the creature as opposed to damaging the creature. And if you ever get a chance, play Fate for the teamwork, because you can play a great deal of round robin on the table where everyone does a thing to the creature, making aspects all around the creature that everyone gets to tag onto to work as a team. One person can do the whole I throw marbles to have him, tripping on marbles. Another person, uses some dirt and say, here's some mud in your eye. And the idea that as co-narrators of the game, the players inject into the game itself. And that really affected how, because that helped with stunts and stuff too, because, it gives you creative license in your game.
That's true.
A lot of players have a hard time getting creative narrative, or I should say narrative creative.
Well, it is kind of hard to, most people are used to having the story told to them and then interacting with it to a certain degree.
Mm-hmm.
With Fate and with, like, Scion and Dresden and all those types of things, you're actively changing the story, and you're building it and creating it.
And for the record, GMs love that stuff. We really do.
Not all. You can't just blanket statement that.
Well, most of the GMs I know love players that inject stuff into the game.
True. I think the best ones do, definitely.
Yeah. New GMs might be thrown off or off balance with that one, but if you're the type of GM that's willing to give up game control to have more of a creative story happen, Fate and Star Wars dice, the narrative dice, are great at that, because they give creative license to the players, which is good. So what experience did you have?
What I'm going to have to go with that kind of changed how I play?
Mm-hmm.
Remember back when we were playing D&D 4th edition?
Mm. Okay.
And I had my ranger, and we were a 4-man team, and we played them all.
Mm-hmm.
And then we lost 2 players.
Mm-hmm. Because we were having a open table gameplay at Game Days, back in Game Days was open.
And one guy got a job,
and so him and his wife had to drop from the group.
Yeah, so instead of, I 2-boxed.
Uh-huh.
And that was the first time that I'd done, when I originally started playing, I had done a couple, where it's like, but I didn't play them differently back in, old school days and stuff, when I was just starting out, when I was little. But this was the first time that, wait a minute, I've got 2 separate characters. I'm playing 2 separate identities.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I really started to build, distinctive characters.
So that with their
and
opposite.
Portraying, not just, exactly, that I can role play them as 2 different people with 2 different
distinct personalities,
exactly,
and cultures.
One was Kelwyn and the other one was Twyla.
So you had the 2 distinct voices while playing.
Well, and I specifically chose characters that I had my already taciturn, ranger, half elf,
super stoic,
and then with her wolf companion, Whisper. So I wanted something, and I had to think, okay, well, we're not going to cancel. We're gonna 2-box both of us, so we're still 4 people, but just with 2 players and the GM. So I'm like, well, I want to pick people who are literally different. So that was the first time I'd ever played a bard. So I wanted something that, okay, well, I have this taciturn half elf, who's kind of quiet and menacing, and and gets straight to the point, as it were. Then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this fun bard, silly kind of halfling character that like storytelling, and and talks really fast, and like, and then there was this time that it's like, I once had this cousin, because of course she's got lots of cousins,
big halfling families.
Yes, so that was the first time, and ever since then, when I create characters, I try to give them an identity. I think that's one of the reasons why I like 5th edition so much now, is because it builds a background.
Character creation.
Exactly. And that just makes it even easier for me to,
pull from your source material.
And of course, being an identical twin,
true.
I like doing an accent if my sister's around, just because it makes it easier to distinguish. Because sometimes our voices can be exceedingly similar. So, and that just reinforces the role playing, in my opinion.
Because for those who don't know, Carrie and Kelly happen to be twins.
Yeah, you just swap the double letter in our name. Yeah.
All right, guys. So that describes a game experience that changed how we play. So I hope you guys enjoyed. And by the way, feel free to share what your game experiences are that changed the way you play. Because I know everyone's got a thing and a story that changed, how they play. Because, we grow, we learn, we pick up new skills, we shave off bad habits. We sometimes learn new bad habits. So hey guys, I hope you enjoyed it, and have a good #RPGaDAY. Thank you for listening.
Hi, this is Kelly, aka Trixie from Ragnarok and Roll, a Scion to Ragnarok story, and Tilda Wimblewick from D&D Journey of the 5th Edition. First off, I would just like to say thank you to everyone for listening to our varied adventures, as well as for rating us on iTunes and RPGpodcast.com. If you haven't rated us yet, we would greatly appreciate it if you could. And if you're looking for more ways to support our efforts, we are now on Patreon, a great site where you can help us continue making more podcasts, as well as some special surprises for our patrons. If you can, please look us up at www.patreon.com/cppn. Every little bit helps. And again, thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening to the Creative Play and Podcast Network. And feel free to enjoy our other shows, such as D&D Journey of the 5th Edition and Scion Ragnarok and Roll, a Scion hero to Ragnarok story. Thank you for listening.